Have you ever noticed how people say, I totally support LGBT as long as it's not my kid? Yeah, support, but with conditions. It's kind of like buying a fake Gucci bag. Looks good on the outside, but you're not really ready to commit. And society loves doing that, right? Rainbow flags in June, parades, hashtags, love is love. But come July, suddenly everyone's whispering again, like, shh, the kids are around. It's funny, but also kind of sad. Because if we've been preaching equality for decades, why do people still flinch when two guys hold hands in public? Maybe it's not about the rainbow. Maybe it's about the shadow that still follows it.
You remember the first time it happened. It wasn't dramatic, no shouting, no scene, just silence. That kind of silence that tells you something about you doesn't fit. Maybe it started at school. The way your classmates looked at you when you didn't laugh at the gay joke. The way your teacher said, boys and girls, and somehow you felt like you didn't belong to either. You tried to blend in, laughed when they laughed, stayed quiet when they stared. You learned early that sometimes survival sounds like pretending. At home, it wasn't much different. Your mom would say, you can tell me anything, but when a queer couple appeared on TV, she'd sigh and change the channel. Your dad would joke, don't turn soft, okay? And you'd smile, pretending it didn't sting. Because what do you say when the people you love the most are the ones you're most afraid to disappoint? So you start editing yourself. Like a photo you keep retouching until no one recognizes the original anymore. You lower your voice, you change the way you walk, you pretend that crush is just a phase. And every night you replay the day, wondering if anyone noticed the parts of you that slipped through the mask. Sometimes you wish it was hate, because hate is loud, it gives you something to fight against. But this quiet distance, the awkward smiles, the way conversations shift when you enter the room, it makes you feel like a ghost haunting your own life. You start to believe it's your fault, that if you could just be normal, people would stay. You bargain with yourself. Maybe tomorrow I'll be different. Maybe tomorrow I'll disappear less. But deep down, there's another voice, small, tired, honest, that whispers, you don't need to change. They just need to see. And that's the cruel part, isn't it? You're not asking for applause. You're just asking to exist without apology.
One night, you're lying in bed, phone in hand, brain doing its usual late-night circus act. You tell yourself you'll scroll for 5 minutes. But 5 minutes becomes 15, 15 becomes 2 hours, and somehow you've seen more strangers' lives than your own. And then, there it is. A random video. A person on your screen, just like you. Same kind of smile, same kind of fear hiding behind it. They're laughing with friends, dancing badly, wearing a rainbow hoodie like it's armor made of joy. You pause. You don't even know them, but something about the way they exist so freely feels like a rebellion. You feel that tiny, dangerous spark, the one that whispers, maybe the problem was never you. Maybe it's the world that needs fixing. You replay that video. Once, twice, 3 times, not because you need to see it, but because you need to believe it. Believe that you could exist like that too. No fear, no shame, no apology. And after that night, the world doesn't look exactly the same anymore. It's subtle, but you start to notice things. Like how your teacher doesn't say, "That's so gay," anymore. Or maybe they still do, but now you have the courage to raise an eyebrow that says, "Really?" The friend who defended you once, not because they had to, but because they cared. The strangers online who share stories that sound like secret echoes of your own. You see yourself in them, not as something broken, but as something becoming. You start wearing colors you used to avoid. You let a little softness show in your voice, a little pride in your walk. Tiny things, maybe invisible to everyone else, but to you, they feel like a revolution. It's like you've been underwater your whole life, learning to hold your breath because you thought that's what living meant. But now, for the first time, you're finally coming up for air. You don't announce it to the world. There's no fireworks, no background music swelling in slow motion. You just breathe. And in that breath, that small, quiet, unremarkable moment, you feel something shift inside you. A fragile kind of peace. A permission to exist, not as who they expect, but as who you really are. And maybe that's what freedom actually feels like. Not loud, not dramatic, just finally, deeply, silently real.
You start to realize something. People don't actually hate you. They hate what they were taught to fear. And fear is lazy. It's just ignorance wearing a fake mustache pretending to be moral superiority. The kid who teased you in class? He probably didn't even know what gay really meant. He just repeated what he heard adults say, like a parrot with bad opinions. And your parents? They're not villains. They're just people who grew up in a world where love had a rule book, and no one told them the rules were written by fear. It doesn't make their words hurt any less, but it helps you stop carrying the guilt like it's some kind of family heirloom. You start laughing again, not the pretend I'm fine kind of laugh, the real kind. The kind that comes from knowing you no longer need anyone's permission to be yourself. Because once you understand that their judgment says more about them than about you, it loses its power. Completely. And maybe that's what healing actually looks like. Not fireworks, not grand speeches, just a quiet, knowing smile that says, I finally get it.
So, why is LGBT still discriminated against? Maybe because the world is still catching up to the idea that love doesn't need a label to be real, that being different isn't a phase, it's just another version of being human. You look around and realize things are changing. Slowly, awkwardly, beautifully. A teacher using the right pronouns. A friend standing up for someone they used to joke about. Your mom asking questions instead of assuming answers. And maybe, just maybe, people like you are the reason they're changing at all. Because every time you choose to exist unapologetically, to show up, to speak, to love, you're teaching the world, softly but stubbornly, what love really looks like. So the next time someone asks, why are people still discriminated against? Maybe the better question is, when will we finally stop asking who deserves love and start realizing that everyone does?
If you enjoyed this, I'm going to be posting a lot here. I would greatly appreciate it if you could subscribe. Thanks for watching.